Baruch atah Adonai Elohei Avosenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Haggadah Hagibor Be'amar Elyon Umar Hasadim Tovim Konei Yaakov Besot Hadei Avoy Shmiri Goel Inei B'neihem Shemo Levo Shemo Be'awa Melech Oseh U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham Be'or Olam Adonai B'nei Yitzim Kara Mashiach Mashiach Baruch Mori Hayeshem Hatim Hayim B'Chet Mechayem Etim B'Chavim Somech Ha'olim B'Rofech Ha'olim U'Matir Asureinu Mechayem U'Nasor Shnei Afar Mincha Maariv U'Roz Unido Melech Malach Hamid U'Mechayem U'Zmin Yeshua Elim Atah L'Chayot Nasim Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaMesim Hallelujah, واشلم لكم اقسم كل من الرفان امام برحمه تعالى بارك الله شيخ الاي امور قالوا ما تالي بركات ثانيه هذا باب سمين متبقى ما يعرف عشان سنه فشنين هتبودي برحكي الطب ومتي تعالى عليها شنين بارك الله عليها شنين امين دول ليس كده سنه يا خام بوك على سنه بارك الله يا موي امين باش سنه que original سنه لا بحسن مننا يقوم نحاول له امين حتى الله ده بلاك تكاسب الرحم بسبب مش بارك الله ملك ده كان مش امين سبحان الله امين او يدو ويبيع ما خام رايك الرسوم الرشام راس اخر وسبرس مجرد سنين بجناب امين بارك الله امين امين يا جري هسأله بيعلن النار وشمك النار أنا بس طب أو تجين بشينها بيمسين كده ما نطلب بيمس بشينها ويكنوا ومهين لون نبوش كي بيخاف تاني برضه بترناي شان من ترى سريع لا يركب كمين تشوف السيسكوس الشيء برضه يصير ده نقرأ بس خاطر حين وما وصار بكروي من ولا برضه بترناي ومن يروشلايم سمع نبي تدخل راس فيها بقرن شو أساها كذي شو أسانا كذي نقول هيوم بارو كتالوناي سميها كذا يشوع جماعة كلنا ما لنا ما وحنا لنا بكتاب وحنا بنسونا في سنة كذا شمال الكتاب سميها دام من فنها ما كنا ريكانا تجيبنا كذا تشمل كذا سقط بارو كتالوناي الإنسان شكله كشيء أبو داري جديد يسأل يسأل شو عارف في الإنسان بهذا كذا الإنسان سهيل الإنسان ثمين ولا يدري لما كان الإنسان إنه بشوية الصيام الرحمي بارو كتاوناي وفيش من صار الصيام شوف هاي الصورة هي لما كان الشارع dos cada vez mensajes por Dios mi mano real mensajes de todo es el favor se me ha todo calor ramena me kilo samu khadha kilo kilo يا فلان إسرائيل بعيد رومان بعيد نتيجة كانوا كانوا يدورون بعيد تقولي تلا بيلوشين عندهم لما تيجوا عادي يجلسون ويرسلون سلام يتوبارو توش كاو لخانا إلى هذا سين شلون تباو لخانا كان تكاسر راح من الليل وكل إسرائيل مهم ولكن أبينو بلانو كاو بأورفانيها كي بأورفانيها نزلت لنا ونحن هنا فرص خاين באחווה, חסד, צדק וברחם ברחמים וכיום ושלום וטוב בעיניך לברך עמך ישראל בכל עת וכל שעה ושלומך ברוך אתה אדוני וברך עץ עמו ישראל בשלום. צדיק הולך לבוא לעולם. Ciencia de hacer a primero, marca yo va a ir que recién lo de Sham de Mar. Ya, pero Serena la Haitiana alla orche che lo smeha na zelo fa a sena de ma smeha kada bis kada se mera ba ma di berak se na nimo se es mar po kana be kada na shike amen ono kada ho Israel ba kada bisman tari lindo amen la casa que Neymar se cambiaron de más de amén. Estaba se los segundos por de Israel, cada por de Ishmael de amén. 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 Yo que nunca me pasa, no yo lo veo, pero נאמר בהאי אומר ערף היה מפוי יהיה אחד ושמו אחד. אמן. 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 שמירה ישראל. אמן. אמן. Amen. Amen. Vaya de Shanki Savai, Soy Taves, Vadavaya, Sevani Espa, Mia Pisi, Vania Sos. Radzak az is párkod az szóval a hírban ez elmész és nem a legvasszal citkaj, tehát a célra viadé. Amen. 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 És Amen. Amen.
Amém. Amém. Amen. Today in Jewish history. So, in 1920, on the 5th of Cheshvan, today in Eretz Yisrael, or AKA the British Mandate of Palestine, they started allowing in courts the language of Hebrew. Until then, you weren't allowed to speak Hebrew in the courts of Israel. In 1920, Cheshvan, they allowed it there. Now, in general, the language Hebrew didn't become the official. It wasn't such a clear-cut thing that Hebrew was going to be the language of Israel. It wasn't looked upon in a good way by everybody, because up until 18 something, I'm not sure what year, in the late 1800s, people didn't speak Hebrew. Hebrew was reserved for davening and for learning Torah, and that's it. Not for mundane things. It was like it's like something Shabbostic, like something. It was what we call it in Hebrew. What do we call it? Lashon HaKodesh, the holy tongue. It was holy, and it was used as something holy, and therefore it wasn't used as something. It couldn't be used for something unholy, and therefore many people were against Hebrew being the official language of Israel. Many rabbis were against it, and that's why you had a different language that people spoke. The everyday language was different. A lot of words were borrowed from Hebrew, but it wasn't the language. Both in the Ashkenazic and Sephardic worlds. In the Sephardic world, you had Ladino, and in the Ashkenazic world, you had Yiddish. Both Yiddish and Ladino have a lot of Hebrew words in it, mixed in it. But why do they have such a language? Because it shouldn't be used, not to use Lashon HaKodesh. People used Aramaic many years ago. Also, just like Yiddish, we used Hebrew letters for Aramaic, but not Hebrew. Onkelos translated the Chumash, so you have a translation, but we didn't use Hebrew for anything other than davening or learning Torah. Anyway, so that was there. In Jewish history, also the Rambam would celebrate this day today, and also Vav, the saints Vav, but also Tes Cheshvan. He would celebrate because when the Rambam escaped Spain and he was going to Egypt, he passed through Eretz Yisrael, and on the 6th of Cheshvan, he went to the Kaisel. It says he went to Har Bais. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if he went to Har Bais where you're allowed, or he just went to the Kaisel to the Western Wall. I'm not sure what it means, but he went over there. He davened over there, and then on Tes Cheshvan, the 9th of Cheshvan, he davened at Aras HaMachpelah and Cheshvan at the Cave of the Patriarchs in Hebron, and he considered it Yom Tov. He considered it a holiday, and his children would follow the tradition of keeping it. He recorded it as a special day in his life. We have an interesting halacha question. Should we do the question? Because we're not going to have time for the answer. Should we do the question or should we save it? Is the question?
Then we can think about it.
Okay, save time to think about it. So, this guy's selling a property. We'll call him Reuben. Reuben is selling a property. Don't take his personal Reuben. Okay? He wants to sell it for $150,000. Who's buying the property? We'll call him Shimon. Shimon's buying the property. Shimon says, I want to buy the property. It's not worth $150,000. It's worth $100,000. So they say, listen, we'll do an appraisal. Whatever the appraisal comes back at, That's what we'll do. So Shimon, they get an appraisal company, Jack's Appraisals, and Roofing, different Roofing. He goes over to Jack and says, "This appraisal company, I'll pay you $5,000. We gotta get this." Jack says, "Whatever number you want, as long as the money is green, I'm in." Huh?
He's talking to that person now. Yeah.
Reuven, who wants to sell the property for 150, even though Shimon says it's only worth 100, he goes to the appraiser and says,
What's say stuff?
"You say 150, I'm going to pay you money for that." He says, "No problem." And he comes back with the appraisal, and Shimon says, "Okay, I didn't realize. If that's the appraisal, then I'll pay for it." And he pays $150,000.
But the question is, what DD was the person?
We're going to assume for this question that Shimon was right and it was only worth 100. Not just that we can assume that. In this case,
Otherwise, it's always on.
Reuven, after they closed on the property, Reuven said, "Listen, for a few dollars, I'm going to lie and sell my soul. I'm not going to do it." Took $50,000 and he gave it back to Shimon. He says, "Shimon, I ripped you off."
So he looked at it.
1 second. He said, I'm only gonna pay you. Don't worry about it. Okay, forget about it. I'm only charging you 100. Question is, he gives him back his 50, or he doesn't take his 50, whatever it is. And now the question is, does he have to give Jack $5,000?
Yes.
What did Shimon do? Yeah, because he told him he was going to give him for $5,000. Absolutely.
I'll tell you. Okay, there's reasons to say why yes, there's reasons to say why no. Just for food for thought, and then we'll get it on Maariv.
What did Shimon do to Reuven?
What did Shimon do to Reuven? He didn't do anything. What do you mean? He bought the property.
He told him.
I think he doesn't supposed to pay.
He told him he was going to give him $5,000.
Don't have to pay. It's like to say something.
He didn't say nothing. He didn't say nothing.
No, but it's don't pay. The person has to do appraisal in any case. Now he told him just to lie. And for the lie, you're going to pay him. You don't have to pay him for other lie. No.
So that's the question. The question is could you make a shliach dvar avera? There's a rule, ain't shliach dvar avera. There's no shliach for. That's not so simple.
Let's get to the
That's not only shliach dvar avera. You can in any case you make the appraisal. It's not a special thing.
Okay.
He didn't send me for a special.
Okay, we'll discuss the answer tomorrow.
If he's studying for a special mission by his own, then you have to give.
I think we got a few more.
What if the other nations same rule?
We got a lawyer in there. What is counsel?
Talking about Chilul Hashem, we're not allowed to rip anybody off. There's a concept, people think that you could rip someone, they're not Jewish, you could rip them off. That's not true. We're not allowed to do that.
First question, person comes to Olam Haba.
Were you honest in business?
You did trust Hashem.
Okay, it's mañana. We'll continue this.
So everybody has to come. It's an incentive for everybody to
That
come.
was part of the equation. Page 118. What's that matter?
Adonai Yeshua, Melech Yaneinu v'yem koreinu. Adonai Yeshua, Melech Yaneinu v'yem koreinu. Izgadal v'izgadash merabo.
Amen.
Yom yom yusei v'yamlech malchus v'smach v'kon v'kor b'shivim.
Amen.
V'chayeikum v'yameichem k'edekol beis Yisrael ba'avos mamkorim robe.
Amen. Yeshmira b'marav.
Yeshmira b'marav. Mayo Yisborg v'shtav v'yisborg v'shreimom. Visnasa visalor visale visalol shmei de kusha brihom.
Amen.
Elam kol v'koz v'sherosa tush b'chos v'nekemos alem iram yalma v'imram.
Amen.
Baruch hu es Adonai yami voiro. Yami voiro. Adonai Shmoy Baruch Adonai Yamari Baruch. Kihem Kayeng Yariyamei Logem Negayem Loy Babos Sos Manoleva. Baruch Adonai Ora Badoin Rosara Shomai. Levantis Kerule. Usoy verosoy kibolehe moy shmesoy ona shira misi poravo yoruku Malchus korone keya moy shezeide on vion Adonai moy velam moy nei marki poda division Baruch Baruch Adonai Shemer Sam Yisrael Amen. Al Vizkadash Niran Amen. Yom Yosei V'Yam Malchusei V'Tzvach V'Poni V'Pori Amen. V'Chayeichen V'Yameichen V'Dekol Beis Yisrael V'Agol V'Pori Drom Amen. Yeshmira V'Marav Yeshmira V'Marav Lula Mumil Mayo is Borg Vishnava Quiz for Visraim, Visna, Sevizador, Visalor, Shmei, the Kuchavri, Amen. In Bob also, we should also to the boss and the Kamos and the Ramiel, Amen. Izgadal izskatās mierā
Amém.
Algo eu pirus eliamat malkus, vis matu pali, vai mishika.
Amém.
Aiei, kun emei, kun palbeis, Israel, magos, vão por imirom.
Amém.
Eshmira, mi barato, lamo, me pai, vis bora prestar para os poetas. Vis tema, vis nasa, vis alô, vis alô, shmei de kucha bribo.
Amém.
Lembra, quando gosta de geral, se tu não gosta, não gosta, meu alma, imirom.
Amém.
Esse cabra foi dentro. Always, it's all fun and Ishmael, Roman.
Amém.
Yes, Lamar, Ishmael, can take Malay, one police, all the wrong.
Amém.
I say, show the rainbow, we ask, show Malay, one police, all the wrong.
Amém. Shalai sanu ki kei gora.
Who they the Shamagi?
Did I say love?
Adine Lloyd, well, boy, the name, Marbo, Yadin, Yemahu, Yadin, Pushno,
Amém. 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 Ja, ik wil twee dat ja, die. Amen. 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 Shmei Rabba, Amen. 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 Oh yeah.
What? Amen, amen.